Hey, I'm Sarah with Irrational Dog. I've got 4 dogs of my own and 20 plus years experience training them. And I'm here to share with you everything that I know so that you can have a great life with your dog. So let's go.
Hey there, in this video we are going to talk about the beginning to a perfect recall. So the number one thing to remember when you're training this. Now a recall is teaching your dog to come when they're called. That's just kind of a fancy dog trainer way of saying coming when they're called. And so today I'm going to share with you the number one tip that I have for starting your dog in having a great recall, whether they're a puppy or an older dog. So I just want you to think for a minute, how great would it be for you if your dog had the freedom to play off leash? They could go where they wanted, they could play fetch, they could run and sniff, they could roll in disgusting stuff, but it would be great because they could always come back when you call them. And that's the important piece, having a dog that comes back when you call. And so let's take a look at some different things involved in all of this. So what's the big deal with recalls? If you have a dog that doesn't come when it's called, you know what the big deal is. Dogs that don't come when they're called can be a danger to themselves and to others. Dogs running into traffic, dogs running up on other dogs who aren't dog friendly. That can be really dangerous. Dogs that don't come when they're called are easily lost outside. So when I was younger, I had a dog named Spot, and if he would get out without a leash on, he would take off and be gone. I mean, just gone in the countryside. And luckily, he always found his way home, but it could have turned out very differently. So dogs that get out and don't come when they're called, it's really easy to lose them. And it's also endlessly frustrating. If you've got a dog that they know what you mean when you say come and they don't, like they stop and they turn and they look at you and they're like, no, I don't think I will. That's super frustrating. And I absolutely understand that. So we're going to see what we can do to help. So some dogs have a really easy recall. They're very, very easy to train. And these are usually dogs who are bred to work with humans. So they just have this bred-in genetic desire to stick close to you and work with you. And those are usually dogs that are in the herding breeds group, like Australian Shepherds, Collies, Border Collies, German Shepherds, Belgian Malinois. These dogs, Corgis, they were bred to work with you. And some working breeds were too. So dogs like Dobermans, dogs that are like hunting dogs, like sporting hunting dogs, like Labradors and pointers and those kinds of dogs. And most toy breeds also, like the little Chihuahuas and such, they usually want to stick pretty close with you too. And a lot of that is because they were bred to stick close with you. Like little toy dogs weren't bred to go out and kill stuff or whatever. They were bred to stick close with their people. So teaching a recall to these guys, it can really be as simple as just walking off leash in a safe place and calling them back to you and giving them treats every few minutes and then turning them loose again. Especially if you start them when they're puppies and they know that that's what the expectation is, and that the fun isn't going to end. They're just going to get their cookie and go on. Like really, these dogs, it's pretty easy to train them to have an easy, simple recall. So what dogs have a difficult recall? That's another question. Some dogs were made to be more independent thinkers, and they were specifically bred to be independent thinkers. So hound breeds, I have bloodhounds, and let me tell you, they really don't care if you call them back because they're so busy finding stuff where their nose is. Blue tick hounds, another breed that I've had, same thing. It's their job to go out and find stuff, and it's your job to follow them. And so they're really, of course, you can teach a recall, but it's not as easy to train it as it is for those other breeds. Terriers, same thing. A lot of terrier breeds were bred to go out and hunt and do things on their own. So like I said, it's not that you can't teach them to recall, it's that it takes more effort on your part. And some working breeds also, like Akitas, were specifically bred to like go out and hunt wildlife, bears in Russia. So, you know, again, these are dogs that are independent thinkers, Siberian Huskies, Alaskan Malamutes, those types of dogs. So it just takes a bit more work to get a great recall. It's not that you can't do it, it's just you have to put in more effort. So the big thing about recalls with dogs is that it's about responsibility. For a great recall, your dog needs to take responsibility for his part of the task. So a lot of the time when we have a dog that doesn't come when it's called, it's like all on us to get the dog back. If he gets out, you're chasing him, you're running after him, you're making him come back, you're, hunting him down, you're tricking him into it. And pretty much it's all on you. Like, it's all your responsibility to get him to come. And so we need to switch that around a little bit. Rather than you chasing him down and making him come, he needs to keep one ear on you to know when you're calling and then be responsible enough to respond. So that's like a big piece of teaching the recall, is teaching your dog to be responsible for his part of it so that it's not all on you to keep him safe. So the biggest thing to remember, this is where I drop the bomb of like, what can you do starting today to get your dog started with a great recall? The biggest thing to remember is that when your dog won't come, but he's not ignoring you, like he knows that you're coming, or you're calling him, but he won't come to you, I want you to look at things from his or her perspective, okay? So what do you typically do once your dog comes to you? Think about it. You call him so you can go inside out of the yard, so you can go get in the car, so you can go in the crate, or you can go behind the gate, or wherever, he goes. It's his own special spot. He has to put his leash on. Essentially, all of the fun stops. Most of the time when we call our dogs, it's because we want to do something to them. And it's usually not something that they want to do in that moment. Usually they want to keep bopping around out in the yard and sniffing things, rolling at things, chasing their toys, barking at the neighbors. That's the stuff they want to do. So when you say, Fido, come, they know that they're not going to keep bopping around in the yard. They know that you're going to grab them and bring them inside, or you're going to put the leash on them. Same thing, it's not just outside, it's inside the house as well. When, they know that when you say, Fido, come here, that means that something that they're not going to be looking forward to is probably going to happen. And the good news is, this is actually a really easy fix. It may take a couple of days for your dog to trust you, but it's called the rule of 5 to 1. So every time you call your dog to do something to the dog, I want you to call the dog 5 times just to check in and get a treat or have you throw a toy or something, and then release them back to what they were doing. So Fido, come here. Oh, what a good dog. Here's your treat. Go play. Just like that. Do that. For every time that you're going to call your dog to do something to him, call him 5 times and have something great happen, and then let him go again. That's the one. It may be so tempting because you're like, okay, I've got 5 minutes until I need to go to work. I need to catch the dog. It's so tempting to just grab them up when they do start coming, but you have to really stick to that ratio. And like I said, it might take a couple of days for your dog to really trust that you're not going to grab them every time that you call them, but it's going to make a world of difference. So I want you to start doing that today if you've got recall troubles. So for more tips on the perfect recall, this is something that I'm really working on right now with my own dogs. You get to have a front row seat to it and watch what's going down at the Rational Dog Pack. That's our membership site. Check out the link in the description and you will see video tutorials, written training articles, and you'll be able to join up with our private Facebook group. So check out the link in the description and come and check out the Rational Dog Pack membership. And I can't wait to see you there.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. And to get even more out of the Rational Dog, check out the links in the video description below. See you next time.